Hey there, if you're back, you'll remember that I got incredibly upset at the final boss. I didn't care for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on story mode, which makes me invincible. Because I don't feel like spending several hours trying to figure out how to do one fight when we already made it through the entire game. So we'll just cheat to see exactly what happens.
It shall be. Yes, consider it done.
There's a bunch of weird shit that we could have done, supposedly, like we could wish for all our spell slots back. Someone said, I read that people say to just throw a bunch of spike traps on the ground where she'll appear on every phase, but if I was able to use everyone else as a shield while Flint pummeled everything to death, we'll just do that. Got us this far. Little Miss MacGuffin over here.
As you step into the abyssal plane, the first thing that strikes you is how suddenly alien it feels. A chill wind sweeps across an empty void, screaming in your ears that you are not welcome here. Several strange towering structures are present, suspended in the void by an unknown power. All your immortal senses tell you, however, that the powerful essence of your dead father is close, and that this place is, indeed, the throne of Baal.
Alright, the harrowing final battle awaits us.
You have finally found your way to the throne of Baal. You should know, however, that you're far too late.
This part of the abyss was once your father's and might have been partly yours, but it's mine now, along with all the essence of a god. This place is mine to rule as you wish. I've actually given myself the power of a god, and I'll stop you any way I can, even if it includes cheating. I'm disappointed in you, Flint Kidney Stone. So much bluster. How you've managed to blunder your way through the realms and not perish sooner, I have no idea. Well, if you're the final boss, I'm not sure I got this far either. It doesn't matter in the long run, you've served me well enough. And now it's time for your essence to be added back to my power. I can't actually make her out. The monster names are being displayed. That'll sort itself out. There we go.
I still have to absorb the Boltzmann essences, and there is more than enough power in this plane to keep you busy.
If you're wise, you'll flee. I actually can't. You trapped me here. We can't be knocked back because we're invincible? Well, we can't die, I think is more appropriate. I'm sure like our spells can get interrupted.
Let my hand. I will do my best.
You're worthless lies and here! No mercy for those who oppose us! Lost by don't be die!
Enough! I have gathered enough essence to deal with you. I will wait no longer to end your pathetic life. Prepare to join your siblings.
Oh god, don't tell me you cast Earthquake, girl.
On my honor.
Cry for your lives.
I had that details mode on, I guess, somehow. I guess we get to hear Jan moan.
No! I'm too strong! Damn you! I must take more essence! I must have more power!
Yes.
So this fight here is where we gave up before.
This isn't boring. I'll give it back.
Glory! Now Yes, very well.
Yeah, I don't like that she tries to hide her blade barrier behind the column.
Get me from here, you bastard fool! Do it now!
Flint's almost there. I'm not sure if you're allowed to hurt people when they have blade barrier on, actually. It's one of the many mysteries of magic I never solved. Topless Medusas made an appearance on that one.
I feel this might have done. Healing. What do you wish?
Flint's coming. I feel like that defensive stance was a bit of a... worked against me near the end.
Healing. Healing.
Sarabot cuts off the final pool, I guess, for a little poetic justice. It's a little jealous, maybe.
You are stronger than even I imagined. So be it. Your destiny versus mine. Let's finish this now, once and for all. To the victor go the spoils!
Gonna summon another 1,000 things. Yep, there it is.
On my honor.
Do it now! Be quick with it.
Sarabok stands ready.
Die! A skull
Solid
breaker!
hit. Yes?
No, go after her.
About time we got to business!
Like, look at that, just 20 damage. I don't... Makoni would have died. Flat out to that. She's still going?
Dangerous mistake.
There we go. I have no desire to do that fight legitimately.
Enough, Amelisand. The gods have decreed. This contest is over.
No! I am a god! This is not over until I say it is!
god, priestess of Baal. You play with stolen energies that make you immortal, that give you great power, but that does not make you a god.
The Bulls would have not won! I refuse to believe it! Oh, I would die first!
But you cannot die, so long as the essences are within you. Even now, however, they struggle to flee from your weakened frame. You are defeated, and destiny belongs to the victor.
No! No! I will kill you all!
You will do nothing, Amelisson, but accept your fate. The time that was mentioned has come, Godchild. There is a choice before you. You have prevailed against all that have assailed you, and now you must decide your fate. The vast majority of the soul essences of the children of Baal, Lord of Murder, now belong to you, and you alone. You must now decide what to do with this power. Be wise. The choice is irrevocable.
What are my options here?
First, you may choose to surrender that portion of the essence which remains with you. It shall be given to Amelisson, and her soul, with all the essence it contains, shall be destroyed. Surrendering the essence will allow the gods to remove its evil taint and hide it well within the halls of Mount Celestial, forever preventing it from soiling further souls. You, Baldspawn, would be made immortal, free to continue your life with a destiny of your own choosing. The manipulations of gods will no longer be your concern, and your soul will be untainted.
What's the other one?
Once Amelisson's soul is destroyed and the essence released, you may accept it into yourself if you want it, and the throne of Baal will be yours to command. No doubt you are willing to embrace the sheer evil of Baal's essence. Certainly you have ambition to rival Baal or his priestess, and you shall assuredly meet the same folly. You disgust me. The power is yours to command, but it shall also bring godly enemies. Surely Cyric, usurper of your sire's divine rule by edict of Al the Overfather, will gain an interest in your progress. Your future is unwritten, but once chosen, the gods know that it will be of significance to the universe. Know as well that one does not achieve godhood by simple act of will. You will have great power among the planes, but your evil taint will cause you to walk your path always alone, and good will ceaselessly counter your plans. The choice is difficult, but these are your two options, Baldspawn. This is where your destiny is realized, and your future begins.
I may see the difficulty for ye. Take your power. You fought for it hard and well enough. There be no need to give it up, and no one worth giving it up for. And besides all of that, if ye becomes a power, ye can reward us all the better for following ye about all these months. I've had enough of your smell. Some gold would be fine, indeed.
What? Why are you looking at me? Take the power already. Isn't that what you came here for? I didn't follow this insufferable monkey around to see all its divinity lost. What would I get out of that?
Well, you know, it's funny that this situation should come up. It's not something that I like to think about much, but I spent a whole year as a god back in '03.
Why only a year? It's a touching and involved tale, but I'm happy to shed some light on it. I have to hear this. It's nice to hear you eager for once. It's not every day that a gnome finds himself in the middle of the abyss, fighting an avatar and talking to a solar, you know. I haven't done that for at least a year now. Although, to be honest, the last time was only in the company of Aunt Patty, and we all know what a pushover her Larry was, and it's nice to see that my tribulations in this party are recognized. Anyway, it was during the time of troubles that I'd run afoul of some Baneite cultists who accidentally mistook me for Bane's earthly avatar. Don't ask. Maybe they didn't have a picture. I wasn't sure what to think myself and resolved to spend more attention towards my breath in the future. It wasn't long before I was worshipped by thousands on a regular basis. They made good stew, and the constant chaining wasn't unpleasant, so I decided to play along. No one grows turnips under threat of eternal torment quite as well as a Dreadmaster, and I'll stand by that statement to this day. Well, it wasn't long before the whole time of troubles thing was over, and suddenly little old Worship Me found himself up in the heavens before the Overfather himself. Seems they were short of death gods at the time, and it didn't seem like such a bad gig, so I took him up on his offer. Plus, the dental plan was extraordinary. Being a god isn't what you'd expect, though. Soon was all over me from day one. I hear she developed a thing for turnips about a decade ago. She just wouldn't leave me alone. There were parties at all hours of the night. Lyra would get plastered and fall into the lily pond, and eventually Torm would start a brawl with somebody. Did you know what it's like to have Helm pounding on your door at 3 in the morning? I could never get any sleep at all. If it wasn't one thing, it was getting slapped by Umberlee or hit on by Loviatar all night long, and in the morning, all the gods would be in a foul mood. Terrible. I couldn't find anything good about the experience at all. No wonder Ao kicked them all out. He probably had to catch up on his housekeeping of all things. Well, after all that, I was more than happy to let Sirik have the job, eager puppy that he was. Left it behind me for a turnip farm and a nice pension, and gladly, although I eventually traded the pension for some stock in a Spelljammer trading cruiser, which was a bad decision, but all us mortals aren't immune to that, of course. Lost the farm, too, in a game of checkers to Uncle Fibbert. But that turned out all right, as the turnips got a bad rot that year, and Uncle Fibbert died of too much intestinal gas. Poor man. Anyhow, I hope all my experience has been of some help. Feel free to accept other opinions. No need to stare now. Move on, move on.
Not waver. Were I in your shoes, I would lunge at this opportunity. It is no less than what I died attempting. Take it. Grab hold of what you deserve.
How glorious to finally have the opportunity to grasp your birthright, to take up the reins of power as they are meant to be.
Fail to do so, and the only point to your having come this far will be to have fought off all those who sought to stop you. There's only one path. Take it, and perhaps I will even be the first of your clerics one day. Think of it.
The time has come to make your choice, Baldur. What is your wish?
I'm actually going to discard the essence, because despite the fact that my evil party all said to do it, I think as a neutral evil character, I wouldn't want to get bogged down with absolutes of good and evil. And if we become the embodiment of Baal, we're locked into evil, whereas we're more of like a situational, greedy murder hobo evil right now. Sometimes we do the right thing if it furthers our ends, but if we become a god, we're for sure chaotic evil, and I don't think Flint would lock himself into something like that. Plus, we've established I can't fight godlike beings with Little Miss Infinite summons here, so I'll just go back to beating up bandits, thank you.
Then you shall begin life anew, mortal, without the taint of your sire upon your soul, and the essence of Baal shall forever be hidden. You have done well, and freedom shall be your reward.
You turned down the very power I died seeking. And now what? Prance amongst the flowers? Happy to be mortal? Bah! And pardon me if we part ways as soon as this is done.
Your decision has been made, Godchild. Now the act must be carried out. Prepare yourself.
No! Damn you! No! Too strong!
Your divine essence slowly fades, and for a moment you feel empty, incomplete. It is frightening, but soon yields to a new sensation, one of hope. With your closest companions at your side, you are free to live out your mortal life, no longer a pawn of Baal's prophecy. The adventure draws to a close, but there will be more to come. Even as a mortal, you are to be looked upon in awe, and your power commands attention, both friendly and otherwise. Your life is yours, as are the trials to come. As years pass, tales of your exploits shall spread far and wide, and bards will sing your name along with heroes and villains of legend. Your life may be mortal, your time now finite, but the mark you have left upon the realms will endure.
Ooh, do we get an Animal House ending? No longer with Flint Kidney Stone, Viconia went on to found a cult dedicated to Shar in the city of Waterdeep. One of her followers betrayed her, however, prompting the slaughter of the whole tainted lot. Shar admonished Viconia strongly for this, but she was unrepentant and again wandered the realms. Viconia was still formidable and went on to prevent an attempt by the Knights of the Shield to take over Calimport, and even worked with Drizzt Do'Urden to save the elven city of Salden Esselar from a Zentarum plot. For this last act, the elves accepted her, and Queen Elysim bestowed the highest honors of the Seldarine, an accolade never before given to one of her dark kind. Viconia reportedly bowed once without emotion and then left. Her fate remains unknown. I wonder if she'd become a cleric of Baal if I became god, but I have no interest to fight Cyric. In the years following his resurrection by Flint Kidney Stone, Sarevok never settled in any one place for long. In Burdusk, he is said to have routed an army of invading orcs, displaying such fearsome power and rage that terrified locals weren't sure whom to fear more. In Westgate, he arrived as conqueror, brutally enforcing his will, only to mysteriously vanish months later. He acted like a man that did not know himself, and all the stories agreed that Sarevok was a tortured soul, balancing between life and death, never to achieve either. Eventually he disappeared, said to have assaulted the Abyss itself, or even taken his own life. In truth, he journeyed to Karatur to bury his one true love, the warrior Tomoko. He never returned, though the stories endure. I don't know who Tomoko is. That was maybe someone from the first game? Old Edwina? Edwin gained great renown in his travels with Flint Kidney Stone, and in the years following their association he would exploit that infamy. In time, he achieved enough influence to subjugate even the Red Wizards themselves, becoming the greatest leader they had known in recent memory. Very recent memory, it turns out, as he was deposed scant days later. Such is the brief nature of conquerors in Thay, practically lining up for their turn in power. His only notable appearance following this embarrassment was in battle with Elminster of Shadowdale himself, a short affair that saw the end of Edwin's existence in the realms. Edwina, however, tends bar in a Waterdeep tavern. She is a bitter, bitter woman. Elminster polymorphed him. Jan Janssen's life following his association with Flint Kidney Stone was typically convoluted, the barest of details hidden amidst his half-truths and whole lies. According to his published memoirs, A Janssen in Every Port, after a short prison term for monkey smuggling, he returned to his first love, monkey smuggling. This led to the now infamous Gibbon Ride of 72, a tumultuous and altogether unclean event that seemed to center on the estate of the shadow thief Valag. Jan would deny that he planned the downfall of the rogue, but he was unable to explain what practical application he had intended for a horde of knife-wielding simians. Nevertheless, the death of the admittedly disliked and generally suspect Valag could not be attributed to the young gnome. Strangely enough, Jan had alibis for each and every second of the day in question, and what a day it must have been. Relatives from across the realm came forward to say that he had stopped in for tea and turnips. At his later wedding to Alyssa, Jan was asked how he managed to be in so many places at once and yet still so far from the scene of the crime. Well, Jan would say, when you have that many monkeys, anything's possible. After leaving Flint Kidney Stone's company, Corgan Bloodaxe lived in as bloodiest fashion as he could manage. He took control of an entire dwarven clan, killing their leader in secret, and guiding their revenge to a target of his choosing. He could have lived in luxury, but his thirst for carnage was immeasurable, and he stunned the realms by pushing deep into the Underdark. The blind fury of the clan took even the Dark Elves by surprise, but holding territory in the home of the Drow is a hopeless proposition. Corgan was last seen bearing his axe in the gullet of a high priest of Lolth, laughing as he struck. Dwarven legend immortalized the image, and his bloodlust is now called a crusade. History, it seems, finds more heroes than madmen. We did it. Except for the part where we cheated right at the end, that doesn't count. We beat Baldur's Gate 2, Throne of Bhaal. Right up until the end, I enjoyed it. I liked how a lot of the Bhaal spawn battles were thematic and that I foolishly let my whole party die except for Flint. I feel that's appropriate that the Bhaal spawn would be the only one to stand against another Bhaal spawn. I thought they were interesting characters. The Fire Giant guy was invincible. That was kind of dumb, but I like the Drow, and the dragon being a Bhaal spawn was neat. I'd say the one thing I didn't like is that I couldn't go back to the Sword Coast. I would have liked to go back and scoop up some other artifacts to maybe have my imp make more things for me. Because I never figured out how to make the Flail of Ages. I guess I would have given the Flail of Ages to Viconia. And then I think I could have upgraded the Axe of Unyielding, but I didn't find the right parts. And yeah, just everything fell apart right at the end. My own fault, I suppose, for really never getting the hang of reading the combat log or using magic effectively. Really just expected the my Berserker and my Fighter and my Dwarven Defender just chop everything down. Which, to be fair, they did. They chopped everything down for the first 95% of the game. But I'm glad we were able to see it through. And now, Flint Kidney Stone wanders the world as an adventurer. I imagine the God Power thing is not the canon ending for Baldur's Gate 3, but we'll see when we play Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously, the save doesn't carry over, so they'll make no mention of Flint Kidney Stone. Which is a shame. Alright, you know what? This just keeps fucking going. There we go. And then we'll zoom in right on this button, because I can't move the title screen, but we beat all of Baldur's Gate 2. The Adventures of Flint Kidney Stone are at an end, unless I feel the need to make another dwarf fighter in another game, but I think we'll put him to rest for now. And we're off to our next adventure. Hope you enjoyed, except that final boss part. That doesn't count. Hope to see you again with the next game, some more time travel astronaut. So until then,